Australia has won the health battle against COVID-19, but business is warning that we'll lose the economic war without a timeline for a vaccine rollout. We no longer have targets because 8 weeks into the rollout, the government has set and missed them. The Prime Minister explains.
Now, I've been asked a bit about what our targets are. One of the things about COVID is it writes its own rules. You don't get to set the agenda. You have to be able to respond quickly to when things change.
The government says it's got this under control, but there are too many moving parts to set targets. The UK and the United States are also dealing with these moving parts and has still managed to set targets there. So why can't we? Well, the Health Minister, Greg Hunt, said this last night.
Well, in fact, we set the target of commencing Pfizer for the 1As in late February and met that. We set the target of commencing AstraZeneca for 1As in early March and met that.
Well, that's new. Now we're celebrating targets for commencement rather than completion. As the rest of the world, comparable countries like Israel, France, Germany and Canada move ahead with pace, 8 weeks in, as of late last night, we've completed 1,178,000 vaccines. Just 12,000, though, were completed yesterday. Let's have a quick look now at how the government is getting on with that priority group. The most important group is 1A, which covers 674,000 frontline workers, hotel quarantine workers, aged care and disability residents and staff. It's difficult to give you a completely accurate picture, but from what we can see, 143,000 vaccines have been administered in aged care and disability services. But that is a mix of first and second doses, 69,000 first doses and 47,000 second doses. Still, that is just a fraction of the 508,000 in aged and disability residents and staff who need to be vaccinated. Let's go live now to Jonathan Lee in Canberra. Jonathan, we're also talking about business and it wants a vaccine target set.
Yeah, Laura, good morning to you. Business would certainly like a target set. This is the economic battle versus the health battle in many regards. Businesses are keen for a timeline or at least a goal. There's still great uncertainty out there amongst businesses. Obviously, they need to plan for the future, work out who they need to hire, and even if they need to fire, we're still yet to go into winter. So this race is far from run, and it's certainly far from won in many regards. As we show the viewers some more graphics on the screen, we can help break down the numbers, those inoculated, those still to be inoculated. In fact, the total doses now more than 1,178,302. As you alluded to, in the past 24 hours, just 12,227 not administered, those waiting to go into arms, 726,000 doses. Quite incredible, really. Jason Clare, also from the Labor Party, calling for a target.
Well, you need a target. Australians want to know when they're going to get the jab, and it's important in terms of getting things back to normal, getting people back into work, that we get Australia vaccinated. The Prime Minister says this isn't a race. He's wrong. We risk now other countries opening up and getting back to work, and Australia still being locked down from the rest of the world and sitting in a GP's clinic waiting to be vaccinated.
And just echoing the point that you made, Laura, as other nations now fast-track the rollout of their vaccine, the concern is from the New South Wales government and business groups, I'm sure the airlines as well, that Australia risks being left behind here.
Yeah, indeed. It is a concern. The government appears to have ruled out another vaccine option as well. What is it?
It's the Johnson & Johnson vaccine now. As late as last week, the government was in talks with the company. Obviously, we're trying to find ways to boost our own vaccine arsenal at this stage, following the difficulties of getting the AstraZeneca jab up and running, and also the Pfizer vaccine to our shores. And not to mention what happened last week when the government determined and health authorities ruled that the AstraZeneca jab is no longer suited to those under the age of 50. The government was looking at the Johnson & Johnson jab, but it's now decided that it's because it's an adenovirus, which is very similar or the same as the AstraZeneca jab. It won't be acquiring that and bringing it into our stockpile. So it's still pushing ahead and desperate to get the Pfizer vaccine to our shores as quickly as possible. Matt Canavan from the Nationals was on Sky earlier this morning, and he's calling for what many people are calling for: clear transparency and a need for government to be honest with the people to take them on this journey.
I think the lesson out of all of this is that we've just got to be upfront with the Australian people. I've got great faith and trust in the common sense of Australians to accept the medical advice, warts and all. I hope now, after this last few weeks, the lesson's been learnt that let's just be upfront with people. People have common sense. We will get this vaccine rolled out. We're very lucky to have other alternatives around the world, which we'll get, and we'll get on with it.
Yeah, Laura, in many regards, in the greatest health crisis of our generation, merely asking the government to be upfront with people doesn't seem all that much.